What's up? It's Susie and Todd from Hey Grill Hey, and today we're gonna walk you through my recipe for hot smoked salmon, but not just any hot smoked salmon. This is my maple orange hot smoked salmon with an orange and brown sugar brine and a maple orange glaze.
So
it is
good.
Ridiculously good. You're gonna love this one, so let's do it. Now, this is a slightly longer process. You do have to start the salmon a day in advance.
Worth it.
But it's so worth it. And it's really easy. So first up, we have to make the brine. So will you start pouring things for me?
Sure.
I'll call out what they are. 4 cups of water, a cup of brown sugar, a cup of kosher salt, a cup of maple syrup, and the zest of an orange. This is a really simple brine, but the salinity in here is gonna give us a really beautiful texture on the salmon as it smokes. Additionally, it's gonna season the salmon from the inside out. So we're gonna have a really nice sweet, yes, whisk whisk. A really nice sweet and savory flavor profile in the salmon fillets. So now I have probably about 2 pounds of salmon here. This is a skin on salmon fillet. You can smoke this skinless, but I do prefer having the skin on. I think it holds up better during the hot smoking process.
Why'd you slice it into steaks?
I like these in individual portions. I think you get more smoke and glaze around each thing when they're in individual portions, and they just cook up really nice.
Probably absorbs more of the brine too, right?
Yes. Okay, once you've got this whisked together, your brown sugar and your salt have dissolved. These go in flesh side down. We want to make sure they're nice and submerged. And then into the refrigerator. You can let these go 8 to 12 hours. 8 if they're thinner fillets, 12 if they're a little bit thicker. But we'll usually do these the night before. Cover this up, pop this in the fridge, and then we'll see these again tomorrow.
Into the fridge.
So gentle.
Oh boy.
All right, so our salmon has been brining overnight. It's ready to come out of the fridge for the next step. So out of the brine onto a baking sheet with a flat cooling rack. We usually have, these are like the coolie cooking racks?
Coolie cooking racks.
Cookie cooling racks, but they're nice and flat. We use them all the time in barbecue.
Skin side down?
Skin side down. Can you feel the texture of that?
Yeah.
It's very different than an unbrined salmon. It's nice and firm. It's got a really good texture to it. So that's gonna go on here into the refrigerator for another 8-ish hours. What we're looking for, what this step is called the pellicle. All the moisture on the outside here will dry out and become tacky. The tackiness of the pellicle will allow the smoke particles to really cling to the exterior of the salmon. Salmon looks great. Into the fridge.
Okay.
Pellicle is formed. You can see the difference in the exterior of the salmon.
It's
yeah,
sticky.
feel it. It's like tacky.
Yeah.
It's set up really beautifully. So this is going to go on our smoker. This is a hot smoked salmon, which means it's smoking, but it's also cooking through. Our temperature is running anywhere between 165 to 180. And this is gonna go on for, I would guess, 3 to 4 hours. Every time we've done this, it's clocked pretty close to 4, and it's ready to go.
I'm excited. This is one of my favorite
Okay,
things.
put that on there. As far as wood here, this is a maple orange salmon. So if you have maple wood, beautiful. Orange wood, beautiful. I've also used pecan and alder. They're all really nice, light, smoky flavor profiles that work beautifully with the fish. We are gonna be basting this every hour during the cooking process. So let's get our baste ready. Glaze is super simple, literally orange juice and maple syrup. We're just reinforcing the flavors that were in the brine itself, and we're continuing to keep that exterior tacky. So the smoke and the heat will dry the exterior. By basting this on every hour or so, we'll add a new layer of tacky glaze on the outside that the smoke particles can stick to. So it'll give us a really beautiful, shiny, glazed finished product. And we're cooking the salmon to an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, should take about 4 hours. I like to baste at least every hour. You could do every 30 minutes or so. Our salmon took about the full 4 hours, but I just checked temperatures and I think we're done. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Good enough. 144 feels good to me. How do you feel about 144, Todd?
Yeah, it's pretty
There,
good.
145. Okay, these guys are ready to come off.
Uh-oh.
This is gonna be fine.
I don't trust you.
It's gonna be fine.
Oh my gosh.
Why don't I just get gloves? I feel like at this point I'm so committed. Don't do that. That was a stupid decision.
I was about to eat floor salmon. Been on a hot
Carefully pull this guy off. I prefer to eat these warm off the grill, but you can cool these down and it's beautiful the next day on a salad. You can make a really beautiful smoked salmon dip with this if you flake it and mix it into a dip.
Ooh, I have a story.
Tell
So,
me.
We got the opportunity to cook for this like party in Chicago.
Oh, I forgot we did this
We were with
recipe
Phil
there.
the Grill and Chris Marks, Three Little Pigs, and you cooked this salmon for these. These were pretty like
It was like a corporate kind of fancy dude event.
fancy dude, but they were fancy ladies.
There were a couple fancy ladies.
There-
Saved
Speaking
it,
of the
sorry.
fancy ladies, there were some that's like, I don't eat salmon, right? But then they ate some of this salmon, and what was the result, Zeus?
They came back
They
for
came
more
back
salmon.
for more salmon.
This is a comeback for more salmon kind of salmon.
Can I move this?
Yeah. Look at that. I just love how beautifully it flakes off of the skin. You ready? Bite for Todd. Bite for me.
Dude,
It's almost like candied salmon because you get that sweet maple orange on the outside. It's savory all the way throughout from the brine, but more importantly, the brine has altered the texture of the salmon itself. It's velvety, it melts in your mouth. It's so delicious. I have a feeling that once you try the salmon, you're gonna come back to it over and over again. Not only because we do, but there are commenters who have left reviews on this recipe on the website that say the same thing. Like, this is how they cook salmon. It'll become your new favorite salmon recipe. You can find the printable version on heygrillhey.com, or you can find it in the Hey Grill Hey app. We'll see you guys next time.
I still remember when you were like developing these flavors. You're like, I'm gonna do this thing. And I'm like, okay. And then it was the best thing ever.
So good.